Now there are a couple of buttons that as yet I haven't really mentioned much, and those are these two down here. So that's the Event Pan Crop button and the Event FX button. That's the video one. You've just got an Event FX button down here for the audio section. Now we're going to be looking at the Event Pan Crop button in the next couple of tutorials and just showing you the incredible power that this can have on an event. Now do bear in mind that this is going to be on the event. It's not track wide, it's just event wide or clip wide. So all we're doing is affecting the individual clips. But we can do things such as cropping images or panning or pan scan images because animation is automatically enabled for this particular function. But also we can do things called picture in picture, where you can have one picture inside another picture to create some really nice effects. One thing to mention, if you do use picture in picture, just bear in mind that you're using system resources. If you're doing video in video, you can do as many as you like, but your system will slow down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, to start off with, I'm just going to bring in a still image because I want to show you an issue with bringing in a still image, and just show you how to do it on that first before we do it with video. So I'm going to go to my Explorer, and I'm going to bring in this picture of Bamborough Castle. I'm going to click and drag and drop it onto my timeline, and then I'm going to click over it. When I click over it, you're going to see that it has just fitted. So what's happened is I can still see the image underneath, and I've got these unsightly bars really at the side. Now I can, with this selected, do a bit of event pan cropping. I can crop it down. I can even make it animate, but it might look a bit odd. So you do need to think about whether you want them to fit and you've got this problem with the bars at the side, or whether you want them to fill the whole screen, and then you can go away and change them accordingly. If you bring it in like this and you start doing some animation, it can look quite weird. You can end up with these bars at the side staying there for too long. So my advice to you is delete it from your project. I'm going to go back to my project media and select it and delete it, and change your import settings. So go to Options, Preferences, go to the editing section, and this one right at the bottom automatically crops still images added to the timeline. That way you're not going to have a problem with funny edges when you start doing event pan crop. So I'm going to click Apply, I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to bring that image back in again. So go to my Explorer window and just drag it onto my timeline and click over it, and you can see it fits. It's also added to my project media as normal, but it's fitted. So now I'm ready to start talking about this button. So let's click on it and see what it does. That's it full screen, taking up the whole of my screen. And the first thing you can see is how the crop has happened. So you can see that the top and the bottom of the image have actually been cut off, because this dotted line represents the screen. It represents what will be viewable on the screen, I ought to say. And so anything outside of it is not going to be viewable on your screen in your preview monitor. Everything inside the dotted area is going to be viewable in your preview monitor. Now, I ought to say also that this is the current time indicator, and it is linked to the current time indicator of the clip, because I've got this button clicked down. If you unclick that button, it's not linked. If you do click the button, it is linked. So just be a little bit careful so you know whether you are on the clip or not. I'm just going to shut that off and show you. If I go onto the clip now and I do the open square bracket, it goes to the beginning of the clip. Open the event pan crop, and you'll see that my current time indicator is at the beginning. And if you're going to do any animation, this is really important, because you will automatically create keyframes if this current time indicator is at another point in your timeline. It has already created keyframes. We've not talked about animation, but these little triangles here are called keyframes. And what they're saying is, at this point in time, in other words at the very beginning of the event, this is how it must look on the screen. Okay, so at the very beginning of the event, what is inside the dotted lines is what you will see on your screen. You can change that by changing this box. So for example, you can actually use your click in the screen and use your middle scroll wheel to scroll in and out to see a better view. You could pull it right in and move it around so that all you'll see is the castle. Okay, now I'm going to place mine there with the point of interest about here. Rule of thirds, if you know what the rule of thirds are. If you divide a screen into three, I'm just going to zoom in, if you divide it into three, 1, 2, so you've got 3 sections across and 3 sections along, on the points where you would have intersections, that's where your point of interest is, it's where people will look. So there's nothing in this third, this would be this third, this tower or just this wall here perhaps is this third, but this corner of this castle is in the top third, and that's where people's eyes will be drawn to. Now if I just click X now and have a look at that, you'll see that I've just got the castle, and there's the point of interest. That's the sort of the upper third, horizontal and vertical sort of there, and that's the point of interest. It's filling the screen. Now occasionally what you want is items not to fill the screen. So I'm going to click on this now, and I'm going to do exactly the opposite. I'm going to click in and zoom out. I'm going to pull this out till it's bigger than the screen. In fact, I'm going to pull it out till it's quite a lot bigger than the screen. And then I'm going to pull it around so it's sitting about there. If you hold the Shift key, when you move things, can you see that it's sort of snapping to mid-grid points? So holding the Shift key allows you to snap to grid points, which gives you a slightly more accurate end result, in fact. So I'm going to snap to that point there, I think. In fact, let's take the F, top of the F to that point. Okay, so now when I X off and I click OK, you'll see that it's sitting here. And if I just click here so you can get a feel for what it's like, there is the event, the whole image shown as a picture-in-picture. Now, what we can do is we can actually animate pictures-in-picture. And in the next tutorial, I'll show you how to animate your event pan crop. My name's Andrew Davis. I hope you found this tutorial useful, and thanks for watching.